Hello, face. Uh, hello. I'm sorry. I'm messing with some stuff. How y'all doing this afternoon? Hope everyone is doing wonderful. Hope y'all are doing wonderful this Saturday afternoon. Okay, here go our recap. Um, talked about accountability, holding ourselves accountable, doing what needs to be done to become better, paying attention to our toxicity, our traits of toxicness, right? Um, to effectively heal. Because if you're healing, to me, if you're really healing, then um, you have to work on everything. If it's a total healing, so, and that's my journey. My journey is total healing from the inside out, and it should reflect in everything, you know. As I see myself healing, right, and maturing, and I have to be mindful. I have to be deliberate. I have to be conscious of everything that I'm doing, I'm saying, and knowing that um when I'm out of line, to quickly fix it. And so you know, we hear people being toxic all the time, and I realize that you can be toxic just with yourself, because it becomes, so when you've been um in a lot of trauma, right? Your your mind ain't thinking that you're toxic. You know, you just thinking that you are defensive and defending yourself and doing the things that you want to do and need to do. But whenever you're not mindful of anyone else in those activities, those acts, then it can become toxic. Yeah. And so as I continue on this journey, I'm figuring out that, well, I knew it was a lot of things that I needed to unlearn. And the funny part about unlearning is that it ain't even necessarily meaning that it's bad, right? Sometimes it just means it doesn't fit. It don't fit the life that I'm trying to create, that I'm wanting. And so I have to make some adjustments. I have to change some things in order to get and attract what I genuinely want, how I want my life to be, how I want things to turn out for me. Um, and you have to become mindful. You have to understand your triggers. You have to understand your traits of unhealthy behavior. And when you do that, now you get to operate in awareness and hopefully um change. We really be wanting everyone around us to make changes and change, and you know, you could be better. Oh, excuse me. You can be better than that, this, that, and the other. But when you look at yourself in the mirror, what are you seeing? And so that's where I am. When I look in the mirror at me, I'm realizing she's been through, and she has allowed it to make her, well, I don't even think I allowed it, honestly. Let me go back. I think it's just a part of the trauma that you become toxic and not even know that it's toxic. But when you sit back and you start to analyze your life and yourself, you start to recognize that it's some toxicity, there's some unhealthy things that you play a part in, that creates the the instability in your life, if that makes some sense to anyone. And so for me, knowing that with all the abuse, all the trauma, all the neglect, all the things, right? I have to know that because of those things, I have to be more aware. I have to be more deliberate. I have to be more conscious of me, from what I say to what I do, to how I act, you know, and being on this journey is teaching me that. It's teaching me to reflect. It's teaching me to look at me and not everyone else, because we can't fix nobody. We can't change nobody, and we can't make nobody want to change. All we can do is be the best version of ourselves as we can be, in hopes that people will see it and want to be better for themselves as well. Um, but we gotta have boundaries. We gotta have consequences. When you get in a place where you're doing better and you're healing, and you do it, oh, I don't know what that is. Sorry. I apologize for that. Um when you get on your journey, then you become aware, so then you get to do things differently, because now you have to be accountable. You have to be accountable for you and your behavior and how you move. And for me, it's been real eye opening. Even, I can tell you, just last night I was just talking to someone and I was saying, like, um throughout my relationships, right? I've been with people that I present to me my authentic self, right? Um, but after getting into a relationship with them, they expected or wanted me to change, because, well, not change totally, but just change when it comes to them, right? And of course, it's usually around boundaries, addressing situations, calling things out, and things like that. And I remember one person that was like, "You're different, you're different, you're different." And we had to really sit down and go over who I was when they met me, right? And I was like, is this different? Is that different? Do I do this different? And the person really couldn't say much because I presented myself as me. So what I had to learn is, and what I'm learning is, yeah, I'm me, but it's some things that may not be pleasing to someone else or maybe causing harm to someone else. So I need to address that within me. Because if it's hurting someone else, me being me, I have room to grow. Because I feel like if you don't have room to grow, you might as well be DOA. And so, because I feel like I still have room to grow and I'm growing and maturing, then I get to change some of the things that has afflicted other people through my words, my actions, and the things that I have done. No, we got to do better. And the only way is becoming more aware of self. Taking the focus off of everybody else and everything else. And that's, moving, being in my own place. I've been here a lot by myself. Um, haven't did that in a long time. And so I get to sit with me. I get to sit with me. I get to hear my own heartbeat because it's so quiet. I get to hear my own thoughts because it's so quiet. I get to reflect even sometimes when I'm not even trying to reflect. I'm able to reflect because it's so quiet. And I never really understood, people saying you just need to get in a quiet place. Get in a quiet place. And I'm like, what's a quiet? What you mean? Now I understand. I'm in a quiet place with me, myself, and God. And all I can do is reflect, think, look in the mirror, and see the things that I don't like about me, regardless of what it is and what caused it, and make a conscious decision to make changes to it. So that when I look in the mirror at myself, I'm loving what I see, not just liking it. A lot of us don't want to do the work. It's important to do the work for a complete healing to me. For me, this my thoughts. For a complete healing, if you really want to heal, you got to dig deep. So deep that it's so uncomfortable that it forces change out of you. And guess what? It's okay because pressure creates diamonds. I know that I know that things are, changing and doing differently because people look at me different. Where people wouldn't even speak to me. You go in the store, even though you don't even look mad or anything, it's just something on you. I don't know if you anyone else has experienced that, but I've experienced this a lot where I'll be in the environments. I can go in stores, just different places, and people wouldn't say anything, wouldn't speak, just and I used to be like, wow, like people are rude and inconsiderate, but no, it's an aura I had carrying around with me that was saying she's not approachable. She's not approachable, so please don't approach her. Don't even speak to her. It's changing. It's changing. I walked in the store yesterday and everybody was like, "How you doing?" And I was just like, "Good. How you doing?" you know, because I'm releasing that toxic behavior, them toxic traits, those trauma wounds, those defensive um characteristics that keeps me on defense even when I don't need to be. Even when I don't need to be. And so just really becoming mindful of that is being so helpful. It's becoming so helpful because again, I'm knowing when to say things and when not to. Because it needs to be said doesn't mean that I got to be the one say it. Um, and just being self-aware of my energy. What am I presenting? Am I presenting abuse, toxicity, chaos? And if I am, I need to adjust that because I want to present love, care, concern, peace, happiness, joy, the good things. And not saying life ain't gonna happen where, you just have those moments. We're not gonna be unrealistic because, life happens to everyone. But at the same time, we have more control over our reaction, our responses, how we present ourselves in those times, in those moments. And we have to do it. We have to do it. And so, like I said, as we continue this journey, we're looking deep. We digging deep. We going all the way to the bottom of the surface and clawing our way up to the top until we're where God desires us to be. And that's healed, whole, and full of joy. Because the peace, the happiness, and all the other things will come when we're the best version of ourselves. And when you don't know what that version looks like, how can you be those things? You have to work at it. You have to be deliberate. You have to be mindful. You have to be conscious at all times. This is a continuing journey for me. I don't feel like, and I don't believe that this journey will ever end for me because it's a part of my purpose. It's a part of my purpose to help others get through what I've gone through and made it through. But the only way I'm able to do that is to dig deep, claw my way up, reveal, reflect, revive, revisit to get to the place of healing, the place of awareness, and the new person that I want to be, that I desire to be. So, as we close today, think about that. Take some time to look in the mirror and reflect who you are and who you desire to become. And if you're not on the journey to do that, what do you need to do that? Because the world would be such a better place when you realize who you are and the purpose for why you are who you are. And that is the best part of it. That is the best part of it. Growing, learning, and discovering who you are from the inside out. So, as I close, as I always say, like, share, subscribe, comment, invite people in, um, and let's help one another heal from the inside out. Hold one another accountable. Teach one another because we all need some type of help, and we will be better for it as long as we doing it out of love, care, and concern. So I'm gonna let you good people get back to y'all Saturday. I hope you're enjoying life, family, friends, and yourself. Remember, we're healing one day at a time, one day at a time. I love you all. I hope you are blessed. And let's keep this journey going so that we can heal one at a time, day by day, for others to see and grab hold. Like, share, subscribe, comment, and I'll see you on next Saturday. Y'all be blessed. Bye for now.